Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made these UV resin keychains for my grandkids. So I'm using this UV resin that I got off of Amazon. There it is in the bottle, and then my neighbor let me borrow his alphabet mold. So thank you, Lonnie, for that. And then I just have this little silicone little pour thingy here and some mica powder, and I'm just going to add a little bit of mica powder to the resin here. And this first one I'm going to make for my youngest granddaughter, and her name is Kaylin, and she is 9 years old, soon to be 10. And I really like the color of this mica powder. Very pretty. I might have to get me more mica powder. This actually came in a kit for from Simply Earth, which is, essential oils. And I only have two different colors, this one and then another one that's a reddish. But I'm going to have to go to Hobby Lobby or somewhere and get me some more. So I just pour a little bit of it in my C, since her name starts with a C. And then I use my heat gun to pop some bubbles. And then I cure it for 2 minutes. After I cure it for 2 minutes, I have these little plastic alphabet letters that I got in a package from the Dollar Tree. And they're all different colors. So her name is spelled Caelyn. So I'm just going to put it down the one side of the C there. I'm just taking a a toothpick to line up my beads correctly. So once I have them in there, then I'm just going to rearrange them a little bit, because this the resin that's in the bottom is already cured, so it's hard. So I just put my beads on there and then move them to where I want them to be. And I do want a little bit of space in between each of them, each of the letters. Once I get them to where I need them to be, then I'm going to go back in and just put some clear resin on top of it. And I'll just fill up the mold with it. And my granddaughter, she likes pink, so that's why I use the pink mica powder. Going to use my heat gun again to pop any bubbles that might be there. Now, one thing I did learn was, because these are beads and they have holes in the sides of them, you do end up with a bubble inside the bead, and if it happens to pop out while it's curing, then you do end up with a bubble in your letter. And I'm just taking my toothpick and kind of going around the edges. And then I will cure this for another 2 minutes. Once I get that cured, then I should be able to, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it over, but there it's looking so far. I mean, I like it. I'm going to flip it over and do the underside because it tends to not cure as well. So I do the underside of it before I take it out of the mold. I think it turned out really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Now what I want to do is dome it, I think is what they call it. So you just put another layer, a thin layer of UV resin over top of it. And then you spread it out. And I just use a toothpick for that. Make sure you get it all around the edges. You don't want it dripping down the sides or anything. So just spreading it out, making sure it's all over the top. Taking it to the edge, but not over the edge. And once I get that on there, then I'm going to cure it for another 2 minutes. And there we have our C. And there you can see the holes in the beads. But I really like it. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next one, and it's for my grandson, William. And he likes red. And what I have is this red glitter from Walmart. And I've had it for a couple of years. I don't know why I bought such a big bottle, but yeah, I'll never have to buy red again while I'm alive. So I put quite a bit of it in my little stir pot there with some UV resin. And just stir it up, mix it up real good. And of course we're going to use the W, so I'm just taking some of this and I'm putting it in the two down bottoms of the W. And then I'll take some to the upper 3 parts of the W. So I leave the middle part open. And since I have some of that red, pink from Kaylin C, I'm going to put that in the middle of William's W. And I'm just taking a toothpick and going along the edges there, just to make sure there's no bubbles. And I didn't fill it all the way up or anything. I just put a little bit in there like I did with Kaylin's. And I baked that or cured that for 2 minutes. Flipped it over and going to do it for another 2 minutes. And then I'll flip it back over and I'll put his name in there with the same beads. And lucky enough, it all fit along that one side of the W. I was wondering if it was going to or not, but it did. So I was happy about that. And again, I want to leave a little bit of space in between each bead. Just a little bit. I don't want them touching each other. And I'm just using my toothpick to move them around to where they need to be. There I added the last letter, M. And I mean, it just fit. And unfortunately, when I do the pour for Williams over the letters, I do end up with a bubble, and I'm pretty sure the bubble came out of one of the beads while it was curing. But there's nothing I can do about it, and hopefully he'll still like it. I'm just being very careful to line it up the way I want it lined up before I put my resin in it. And I had a little tiny bit of the pink with the mica powder left over, so I just put the rest of that in there. And then I'm going to put my clear resin in. And you see when I put my clear resin in, some of my letters shifted on me, so I need to fix those. So just take my toothpick and move it. Straighten them up and move it to where I need it to be. And then I take my heat gun and pop any bubbles that come up. And then I guess my letters moved again, so I'm just trying to line them up as best I can. And then I'll cure it for 2 minutes. Now, I made a mistake there. I put my light, I didn't put the legs up on this, and it did a weird thing with my resin. So I'm like, I need to fix this. So I put the legs up on my light, and I cured it some more, and now I'm going to have to fix it by putting more resin on it because it was kind of wavy or something. I don't know what that was about. But it was unexpected, and I'm thinking it was because the light maybe was too close to it. So then I put it back under my light for 2 minutes. And now I can pop it out of the mold. That's the back side, and that's the front side. And now I'm going to dome the front side. So you just add a little bit of resin on it, just enough to cover it. And then you want to make sure your resin gets to all the edges without running over. And I'll just use a toothpick for that, like I did for Kaylin's. So William is 14. Is that right? 14? Yeah, William is 14. He's my boy. Again, I want to get the resin to the edges, but not let it fall over the edges, the sides. Then I'll take my heat gun, make sure there's no bubbles. It's a lot of repetitiveness, and then I will cure it again for 2 minutes, and there it is. Looking pretty good. And now I'm going to do the one for my other granddaughter, Casey. And she has a birthday coming up this month. She's going to be 17. So I have this green glitter, and it was from the Dollar Tree. And then this other glitter that's the same as the red glitter that I got from Walmart. This is a green glitter, and yeah, I'll never have to buy it again because that'll last forever. And I'm just going to mix both of those up. You don't really see the light glitter in it very much. Maybe I should have put more of it. But her name is Casey with a K. So I'm just going to put this thin layer of green, and green is her favorite color. So I'm just going to put a little bit of green here in the K. Sorry, that's not as good as it could be in the camera so you can see it. Hopefully I'll move it in a minute or two. Guess not. So I get it in there, spread it out, and then put it under the light for 2 minutes. Then I flip it over because you want to do the back side, and do it for another 2 minutes. Or 1 minute. 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is. Then I flip it over, and then I want to put the beads in with her name. So her name is K-A-S-I, Casey. And I'm real proud of her. She is a pretty good soccer player. She plays for the high school that she goes to. Again, hers ends up with a bubble in it, and I really feel like the bubble came out of one of the beads. I don't know if there's a way around that. If maybe maybe you dip them in the resin to start out with and then lay them down. I don't know. But unfortunately, hers does end up with a bubble in it. Again, just doing the same things that I was doing before. I'm going to cure this again. And I put my little cups under there because it'll cure, and then you just pop the residual resin out of it. So there's the K. There's the back side. And now I want to dome it. So again, just a thin layer of resin, and then you want to spread it out with your toothpick. So it's a lot of the, the same things over and over. Once I get on there, cure it again for 2 minutes. And there it is. So there's the W, and I'll just need to take my X-Acto knife and get off a little, scrape it just a little bit. There was some overflow resin, and then I'm going to take my drill, and I want to drill a hole down in the middle of the middle section of the W, because I'm going to make this into a keychain. And I have these little eye hooks, and I'm just seeing, if I need to go further, which I do. The thing is, you want your drill bit to be a little bit smaller than the screw on your eye hook. So there's Williams. I was just pointing out the bubble. There's the back of it. There's Kaylin's. There's the back of hers. And there's Casey's and the back of hers. Then I have some jump rings and some split rings for the keychain, and I'm just going to put these together. And then I'll give them to my babies. There's Kaylin's. Trying to find the split where this, the split where the jump ring is split. Sometimes that's a little difficult, but usually you can run your fingernail over it and you can find it because it feels a little bit different. So here's Williams. Not too bad. Still having a little difficulty finding the opening part of this jump ring. Again, I rubbed my fingernail over it and you can feel it. And there's Casey's. And now I have these little tassels, 2 different colors of purple. That I'm going to put one on Kaylin's keychain and one on Casey's keychain. I don't want to put a tassel on Williams because I don't think he would appreciate that. So there's Kaylin's with her tassel. Cute. She'll love it. Hopefully Casey and William will love theirs too. Doesn't everybody like things with their names on it? And I used purple for hers because, one, I didn't have any green or anything, but one of the letters in hers was purple, and this purple matched it perfectly. Now with Williams, I have this little frog. So I thought that would be a good addition for his. So there it is. This little froggy is going to hang there in the middle. I can't wait to give these to them. Cute. You'll have to let me know what you think of these. I think they turned out pretty good. I was pretty pleased with them. And again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, why don't you think about doing so? I post 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. See you later.